When I first started working at Alcatel, I was making around $12 an hour. Starting out, that was 1997. Starting out, that's about what I was making. And the way they had it staged was I think it was 12.47 an hour with a 40 cent differential for night shift, so it's 12.87 an hour, something like that. And top pay was 18.06 an hour, something like that. I don't know what it was. But it was like for me, it was different than everybody else. Everyone else started at $18 an hour, and their top pay was 28. Brett Finnerty had the new union contract, and mine, and it was a bargaining agreement, and mine was $12 an hour to $18 an hour. I started out here, and top pay was about here. Everybody else started out here, here, and their top pay was right here. Now, after I was told I was the first person on that new bargaining agreement. Now, right after me, they hired another guy named Charles Lewis. He was an African American, I think, from Mississippi. And this is Alcatel bargaining agreement, which is a union contract. Um, Fred Musgrove was our union steward, which he just happened to be our union steward at, he was my manager over at, he was a big man on the floor over at UPS. And they called him Fred Musgrave. I was like, are you the same person? He goes, yeah, that was me. He was over there too. So Fred Musgrove was following me around. Everybody was mad because Charles Lewis came in and everybody else who came in was making $28 out of top pay on the floor. And they were mad because everybody else had to work a year and a half just to get top pay on the floor. So basically, what I'm saying is everybody else was making $58,000 a year when Brett was making top pay at 37,440 a year, 38,000 a year. I didn't. I mean, I just lived my life, but I'm treated different. Is what I'm getting. I'm treated different. After Alcatel, they did some bad stuff. You got everybody knows and nobody wants to tell the truth. Uh, so the next job I got was Yada Networks Inc. And it was they offered me $26 an hour. Now I was working a lot of overtime. They were forcing me to work overtime. If I didn't work overtime, they were going to fire me. If I didn't quit college, they weren't going to hire me. I had to be there every day, and I know why. So Kyle Whaley could hypnotize me all the time, right? Kyle Whaley, I think you're related to Harvey Burkhart. From this is almost like 10 years. 10 years, I made 24 to $26 an hour, almost 10 years straight, from the year 2002 to the year. Mm, I mean, they were giving me small raises at Motorola. Uh, at least 2012, I was making about $30 an hour in 2012. That doesn't sound right for somebody who's supposed to be getting raises, because that's only $4. That's about what I was making right when I was hired by Tilfan, somewhere around this area. Tilfan finally hired me. I was down here somewhere. Now, after Tilfan hires me, he started giving me raises, a lot of raises, really quick. He got me up to I was he got me into salary, and I was getting benefits and stuff. They even laughed and joked about it, because what they were doing is they was manipulating the system to make it look like I was making more than I was. And the way they did that was I couldn't afford health care, so I had to take the company health care, but it was I had to take the cheapest company health care, which meant I didn't pay any money at all, and they were paying completely for it. The problem was if I went to a doctor, I would have to I'd have to pay a lot out of money. Out of pocket expense was very high, very expensive. It was the most expensive plan because you don't pay anything up front, but you pay it when you go see the doctor. That's a lot. But I was somewhere in this area for my salary. Now I come back to Oklahoma in 2019 because Intel Corporation did not want to tell the truth about purposely giving me alcohol poisoning, because your cops around here and Harvey Burkhart didn't want to tell the truth to what they really did. They're just laughing at me, thinking it's a joke. No, you gave me alcohol poisoning. You need to go to jail. You stupid lying, crooked, murdering cops. I was making $70 a day at the Chickasaw place because I couldn't get a job anywhere because there's nothing around here that I can do. And no, no, no. Number two, Nobody here likes me because you run my name across the world. Number three, you guys are all covering up a conspiracy against me. I saw that Hyundai yesterday. Uh, I walk in, everybody goes, "Oh, not him," and they look. Nobody wants to say anything, but they look me right in the eye and they let me know they know, and they're acting, "We're going to help you." No, then you're not going to help me. You're just trying to make it look like we're going to help you, and then you're going to leave me in the ditch. You can't go around killing people. That's against the law. It's called murder. But while I was here, I did get a few jobs at a few places nobody wants to work at. Family Dollar, $10 an hour. I was told 12, but I got $10 an hour. So this is what I was making right here as an assistant manager at Family Dollar. Now, it's very difficult to survive on this kind of money. Very difficult. Very difficult to survive on $20,000 a year. Now remember, I was down here somewhere, I was making five times more. I was making somewhere around five times more. And now you guys want me to just sit here and take it like a man? No. Someone's going to have to go to jail. You tried to kill me. You tried to kill April. You tried to kill Shane. Shane's in a jail cell because you guys set him up. The problem is the proof's in your face. And you can't just walk away. Once you do the act, you can't take it back. You've done it. You can't take it back. There's a police officer. There's a video where a police officer goes up and starts talking to a guy who used bad language in Rockwall, Texas. This guy uses foul language he's not supposed to use, and a police officer walks up and he's getting ready to arrest this guy. And he says, "Well, what happens is," he goes, "First, you're supposed to know the law. It's not our responsibility to teach you to tell you the law. It's your responsibility to know the law when you come in, to his county. And so once you break the law, then you get educated in the law. You're not allowed to purposely, systematically conspire to deprive a man of his civil rights. Now, I know certain people are trying to get out of, what you did to April when she was very young, 12, 13 years old, 14 years old. Um, Jerry Hawley, David Blundell, Jim Conway, James Stiller. You're not going to get out of it. The house that Jim Conway took me to, which is the house that April said, that three guys, she could have been three or four guys came in constantly, raped her for 3 days. 3 days just kept doing it over. And finally they let her go. Finally. I think y'all were trying to kill her. But she said she knows it was Jerry Hawley. That was one. But it could have been, more guys because they just come in at random times. She thought she was going to die. She was screaming in pain. She thought she was going to die. But the house, she told me, was at the end of Springdale Road. Now, you guys tried to make her think it was on the end of Harvey Road. No, it was the other end down there, just by a church. Because Jim Conway, when he introduced me to Sandy Hembry, she was from Marietta. Jim Conway was from Marietta at the time. And I was working, or I was at, I met him at Votech in 87, 88 school year. And he introduced me to Sandy Hembry. We go on a date. We go to this house. He makes me drive all over the place to find this house. And we get there. Jim and his girlfriend go into the house. Me and Sandy stayed out in the truck. I said, "Let's just drive us." And we got out and we started driving. I said, "Oh, there's a church right there. Right there by this house. That must be the church his mother goes to." And she said something that she goes, "They're probably not that religious, Brad. Not everybody goes to church." She said something like that. But the thing is, there was a church right by the house Jim Conway took us to, and it had a big red car garage, like a little red barn. April kept saying it had a red barn. And that's how the cops said, "Oh, no, it can't because that's a red car garage, not a barn." But that was a house. That was a house. It was right by a church on the end of Springdale Road. Um, so, and it's there's only a few houses like that where they have a driveway right next to to the house real close to the road. There's only a few places like that one was Jim Conway's out by. There was a church by it, right by the house. You're not allowed to use law enforcement to torture somebody, purposely make somebody homeless just because you don't like somebody or you want to pay somebody back. You're not allowed to use color of the law as a tool to pay people back. It's illegal to do these things. But I got sued right here in Carter County. Look, look, there's a court clerk, Ardmore court clerk filed it November 17, 2020. So you can't tell me Sheriff Bryant didn't know. You can't tell me he didn't know. You You can't tell me he didn't know because they were following me all over the place out here trying to get me. They know exactly where I am. They were parked out here by Sean Finnerty's house, waiting for me to come home one day. 5 or 6 sheriffs. As soon as I drive by, they came out after me, and then they went and arrested somebody else because I didn't flee. They thought I was going to flee. No, but right now I'm going to put you in jail. You're going to go to jail. Just remember what cuss feel like. This is my proof of having to work at Family Dollar. This is my net pay after 2 weeks of pay. 2 weeks. This is what I was making per year. I was almost there a whole year. This I wasn't getting 40 hours a week. It wasn't. It's more like 20, 25. But I didn't want to do that job anyway. It's not what I'm supposed to do. You When people get out of high school, they're told you need to go to college so you can do something with your life. So I did that. I went to the Air Force. I went to college. And I came out, and then you came and hypnotized me and did all kinds of bad stuff to me and put stories in my mind. If Brett Finnerty had done something where he should have been arrested, you should have arrested Brett Finnerty and put him in jail, not hypnotized and put, I don't know how many years of stories are in my head that Kyle Weather put in my head to try to kill me. You're not supposed to do that. That's illegal. It's against the law. But I guess what I'm getting at is this is about what I was making here at that Family Dollar. That's about what $900 a month is what I was getting at Family Dollar. 900 a month. Um, as an engineer making about 100,000 a year, you're getting close to $5,000 a month. 5,000. So it's a fifth. I was making a fifth of my pay here. You can't live off of it. I can't get a car. I can't get a house. I can't do anything because nobody wants to tell the truth. I'm screaming out. I'm telling the truth. You guys don't want to do nothing. So I'm going to tell you, you've been watched by the FBI. You don't care. You think you're above the law when you're not. So I'm going to get out of this town for a few days and see what happens. I know God the Father is going to punish you one way or another. If mankind cannot do their job, God's going to make one man in the field and one man gone himself his way. And again, I'm going to say it's going to be by God the Father. He said, God has told me it's going to be like absolutely 100% undeniable from the one true living God, because God wants to show He is real. He wants to show He did it and nobody else. You're not going to be able to blame this on any man, woman, or child. It's going to be undeniable from the one true living God. Um, the Lord God tells me He's going to make pillars of salt out of your firstborn because you like to worship statues. So He's going to make your firstborn statues. And you can bow down and worship your children for the rest of your life, knowing you will never get into the kingdom of heaven because you know what you did to me and you're trying to evade justice. You're going to lie through your teeth so you can get away with what you did to me. So God's going to make your firstborn pillars of salt across the entire world. Not just Ardmore, the entire world. And it's important I say this part because I know your cops are trying to get me for anything they can to shut me up. You committed the crime. I didn't. I'm screaming out. Tell the truth and give me my life back. You're saying we don't care. You're supposed to care. You're supposed to do your job. So, no threat from me. I'm not going to do nothing. I'm just trying to make you tell the truth. I'm telling everybody what you did. I'm trying to make you do something. You won't do nothing. So, I'm not going to do nothing. No threat from me whatsoever. God, the Father, is going to punish you with a plague. He's going to punish you with animals, insects, weather, and plagues. I think that's the place right there. I remember it was Red Cedar. The church is over here. The driveway looks a lot different, but things change over what, 20, 30 years.